thank you for being here. We have a very, very special session planned for you. You probably have heard a little bit about this from me over the course of the past week, but there is something so big that is starting to groundswell and coming in our direction, and it's coming from a very unusual place, from corporate America for a change, that we have to start taking notice because we may be able to get involved in, yep, the next big thing, so to speak. I'm not even going to sit here and ramble about my background or why you're here and how exciting this is, because I have a guest here who is connected right to the top. I mean, he knows everything that you could possibly want to know about a company called Solvay. Solar what, you may ask? Wait until you hear all about it. Without any further ado, I want to get you straight over to Jerry Foster, who is connected right at the top with the company itself, and he's going to explain the next big thing. Jerry?
Well, Todd, thank you so much. I'm just thrilled to be here, thrilled to be able to talk to your group, and frankly, Todd, I'm thrilled to be working with you on this because we're having a lot of fun. You and I get a chance to communicate on a daily basis, and that's one of the reasons I decided to start this Solvay business is because, well, because of the business model. Because as our founder and CEO Ryan Wersch, who brought me into the company and got me started, as he tells his story, if you've seen his vision video, if you haven't, you will be seeing that right away. He talks about making a decision in his personal life that in his business life he only wanted to work with people he liked, loved, and trust. And I, when I heard him say that, I have felt those same things, maybe not said them the exact same way. So, Todd, it's a pleasure to be able to work with you on a regular basis now, almost daily, if not daily. And I'm really excited
myself to work with you because as folks can hear already, you are one of the best presenters ever because you really convey the idea of what something is about. So that's why I spoke so short just a moment ago. I wanted to get straight to you because you will be able to explain why this has so much huge potential for so many of the people that I deal with. Of course, my subscribers and my JV partners. It's my pleasure.
Well, that's fantastic. And, this is a fun business because this business, as you mentioned, Todd, it's definitely a unique name. The name of the company is Solvay. And this is a very unique business, and it's a unique business model. And it's really something, it's actually creating a new industry. And a lot of things have really pointed to this happening. A lot of things in our world today right now, and one of the things, as I mentioned, our CEO Ryan Wersch talking about working with people he likes, loves, and trusts. This is a business that's powered by relationships, and it's a funny thing. We have relationships with people in our personal world, in our professional world, and when you can have a business that is powered by, fueled by relationships, you can have something that can be not only fun to participate in, but can be very profitable as well. And there really have been 4 trends that have created a massive opportunity, and the name of that opportunity is Solvay. And those 4 trends that have come about right now that have really contributed to all this. The first is everything that's happening in the economy right now. It's not news to anyone on this webinar that our economy is in a very difficult state right now. In fact, in our economy right now, they say, and I don't remember it, Todd, you don't remember it, but this is the worst economy right now since the Great Depression of the 30s. And we're going to talk an awful lot about domestic and about U.S. I am sensitive to the fact, Todd, that you do have international subscribers as well. And I want to let those international subscribers know that this information is going to be very worthwhile to them today, and even more worthwhile in the near future. Okay, but when we talk about the economy, it really is a worldwide phenomenon right now. The economy is hurting, and people are hurting. And if you pay much attention to the news, of which I frankly don't really, I'm not a big news watcher. I'm, I'm a person that works really hard to stay positive and upbeat and optimistic, and if you spend much time watching the news, that's pretty tough to do. But if you pay much attention to the news or you read the newspapers, and I'll pick up a Wall Street Journal probably at least once a week. Old habits die hard. And I read an article in the Wall Street Journal recently that talked about average incomes in the United States. And they made the comparison that average income in the United States today has gone down over the last 10 years. So from 2002 to 2012, average income has gone down. Now, the problem with that scenario is while average incomes have gone down, the cost of living and the cost of goods that people buy has not gone down. The cost of food has gone up, the cost of fuel has gone up, gas, the cost of utilities have gone up, cost of housing's gone up. Well, when prices go up and income goes down, you've got a problem. And if you're paying attention to the politics and the political scene right now, obviously it's a presidential election year here in the United States, and all we're seeing is a nonstop barrage of news and political ads about how bad the economy is and how bad this candidate or that candidate is gonna, how much that candidate is going to improve or not improve that situation. So the economy and the state of the economy today has really contributed greatly to the opportunity that is Solvay and that we're a part of right now. The second trend that's really contributed to this right now is social media. Social media is an amazing thing, and I'll admit I was a little bit late getting to the party with social media, a little bit late. I did. What was the one, Todd, that came out kind of first? Was it MySpace?
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. I saw the MySpace thing, and I was busy running two of my own companies, and I saw the MySpace thing happen, and I had friends that were talking about it, and as I was lecturing around the country, I'd have students that would talk about MySpace, and so I checked it out. I actually built a little MySpace page once, and I don't know if I ever went back to it again. It just wasn't my thing, MySpace. And then Facebook came out and Twitter came out, and I was actually home for the holidays. And I have two brothers that are younger than me. One's a firefighter and one's a school teacher. And they were talking about Facebook, and I said, you guys use Facebook, really? It just seems like such a time waster. And they rolled their eyes and they said, you of all people, we cannot believe that you're not on Facebook. I said, really? And so they started just not even from a business perspective, which Todd and I have become very involved in social media from a business perspective over the last few years. But from just a personal perspective, they just started talking about this story and that story about how much they love it and how great it is. And I said, all right, that's fine. So we sat down at our parents' computer right there and built me a Facebook profile. And, well, the rest, as they say, is history, because I have absolutely just fallen in love with Facebook and the ability to stay in contact with people in both my personal and professional lives. And in fact, Todd, I don't know if you've even heard this story. Funny thing about Solvay and Jerry Foster here, I would not even know about Solvay, certainly wouldn't have learned about it when I did, might not even know about it today if it weren't for Facebook. Because, really? Yeah, absolutely. One of the executives of the company and I go back many years, back to 18 years, back to 1994, and I was a platform seminar lecturer and speaker in 1994, and this gentleman was kind of a staff, a back table staff member, answered questions on the breaks and that whatnot, sort of thing, and a nice guy. We hit it off. And we only traveled together twice in 1994. And I didn't see him from 1994 until 2007. And my son's broken iPhone brought us back together at the Apple Store in 2007. Hadn't seen each other in 12, 13 years. And we reconnected. I was on Facebook at the time. We added each other on Facebook. And a few months ago, using social media, using Facebook, this gentleman's name is Rob. Rob reached out to me on Facebook, and he said, we've got to talk. I've got something that I've got to share with you. Now, Todd, I know what that means, and you know what that means. We get
Yeah. Yeah.
presented, we get pitched with stuff all the time. We're out in the public eye. People know us. They see us as influencers and as marketers and people with a lot of what they refer to as reach. And I certainly knew what that meant. Well, turned out Rob had just recently left his position as president of an energy company down in Dallas, Texas, and had taken a position with Solvay as basically they don't use the term vice president, but think of it as a vice president role with Solvay. And he got me on the phone and explained it to me, and explained to me what Solvay is all about. Now I'll bring this full circle when we talk more in depth about what Solvay is, but I wanted to bring that part of the story in right here because if not for social media, I wouldn't have found out about Solvay. And so social media is an amazing part of our lives. And one of the things that's going to be great about what we can do with Solvay is we're going to integrate social media into everything that you do. Well, the third trend in our economy that's created this amazing opportunity called Solvay is mobile. Mobile has become an everyday part of our lives and is a trend in our economy right now that is like none other we've ever seen. It's amazing to me as I sit here in my hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia, with not one but two mobile phones sitting here on my desk, an iPad in my briefcase that I just haven't taken out yet. It's amazing how mobile has impacted our lives. Now, I know I'm a little bit weird. I carry multiple mobile devices, but the average person carries a mobile device with them, is within arm's reach of that mobile device 23 hours a day. We go nowhere without this device. And one of the amazing things to me from a marketing perspective, see, I'm a business owner and entrepreneur, but at the core I'm a marketer. It's my schooling in college. It's my corporate America training is in marketing, and I think it's one of the things that's really helped me thrive in the business world as an entrepreneur is my marketing perspective on things. And from a marketing perspective, mobile fascinates me because if what we had to if what we pay today for our mobile phones, if that were the cost to get started with the mobile phones initially, we would not have subscribed.
Right. Right.
You look at what the mobile phone companies have done in terms of getting us in, right, Todd? Getting us in. Here, you got to have this phone. Got to have this phone to make it easy to use. Then going to make it even easier to use. And then, you know, one of the things we always used to be so conscious about, and it's funny because we come from a long-distance dialing background, right? I think probably most of us on this webinar can remember having to pay for long distance and being careful about, well, this is long distance, so, you know, I better wrap this up, right? And kind of keeping the cost down. Then we transcended that with mobile, and we used to pay, we either paid per minute or we had a certain number of minutes, and we were always really conscious about the minutes. And then someone in a boardroom in a mobile company somewhere came up with this fantastic idea that said, we can offer unlimited. Unlimited talk all you want. And they cranked that price up, and they got the average mobile phone user to spend more than they already were spending per month to get unlimited. Now look at the brilliance in that, Todd. They got everybody to pay more because you can talk all you want now, as
Right.
opposed to we didn't need to talk that much. You know, you were a little bit judicious about when you used your mobile phone because you only had a certain number of minutes. Now we use the mobile phone all the time, and then it went beyond just talking. Remember when you first started texting, Todd? Text messaging,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and you know, for me it was the kids, right? I have three kids. They're the absolute apple of my eye, and my world revolves around my three kids. I just love them. And I started text messaging because my kids were text messaging, so it was a way for me to communicate with them. And they got me, okay, hit the key 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, great. Next key 1, 2 times. Okay, hit the next key 1, 2, 3. Remember those days of texting like that, Todd?
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And people would say, you're texting? I'm like, yeah, it's great. I stay in touch with my kids. Well, it went from that to different phones and smartphones to make it simpler to text. And not only text, and now we're emailing. And not only now are we emailing, but we're using our smartphone to access the internet and other database services. And if you think about where we've come with mobile, it's phenomenal to me what a short period of time that's happened. We're not talking about 10 years here. We're talking about, maybe 6 years, 7 years. It's 2012. I've been carrying a smartphone since 03, I guess it
I
was.
know, it
So I've been
just
carrying.
seems like forever.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
But when I was carrying a smartphone, I'm out at my son's baseball game, and someone asked, "Well, I wonder how the Yankees are doing right now, or I wonder who's winning the basketball game." Oh, hang on, I'll check. I'm like, you check on your phone, and I can pull up the score. Are you kidding me? I can pull up the box score. I can pull, and they were, "Whoa,
I've
that
got
is so
something that'll
cool."
one up you on that. Yesterday, I pulled out my smartphone and I saw a tornado on the radar, a tornado signature on the radar, and it was confirmed because most people here know that I have a weather background.
Right.
And I was just able to actually identify that because it was just so high resolution, better than when I used at the television station. It was
Isn't that
incredible.
amazing? Yeah,
Yeah,
look at how that technology. So the concept here then is mobile has had a dramatic impact on our lives, and it has really brought this opportunity of Solivate to us. And then the fourth there that you see is direct sales. Now, direct sales is an industry that I've been fascinated by for years. I have been pitched about every type of direct sales, network marketing, and multi-level marketing company ever on the face of the earth over the last 20 years. Something about me attracts people to me to invite me to want to sell their lotions, potions, and pills. I will admit no one ever asked me to sell Mary Kay Cosmetics or Avon or Pampered Chef, but but I've been asked to join about every other type of company and sell every other type of product. And frankly, over the years, I found it was a lot easier to just say, okay, how much is it? $40? Sign me up. And I'd take that little kit and I'd throw it in the corner of the garage because it was always easier for me just to say yes, the $40, and then not have to hear any more about it. You
right,
ever been
right.
there, Todd? You know that
Yeah,
feeling?
absolutely.
I
I've done
love the
I've done
concept.
a very large number, not very large, but I've done a large number of programs, and I don't want to get too far into it right at this point in our discussion, but there's a big difference here, you know.
Yeah, yeah. As we're going to cover in great detail. But when I put the term direct sales up there, I really think it's important that we understand how powerful the direct sales model is from the standpoint of rather than a company spending billions of dollars on advertising, they pay the money to the people who are sharing it relationship style, word of mouth.
Exactly.
So what you see on the screen there, and Todd and I are going to go through and we're going to talk and we're going to drill down and we're going to get into great detail about what this is and what this is not. And at this point, Todd said I didn't want to really go down that path, but I will say this right now. Everything that you like or has attracted you to the idea of direct sales before, Solivay hasn't. Everything that you didn't like or that you don't like about that industry, Solivay has none of it. And we're going to drill down, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that as we go through. So in essence, what we have here is we have Solivay. Solivay has created the perfect storm here of opportunity using these four trends in the economy. And the idea here, a simple way that I like to explain it, Todd, it's as if Twitter, Facebook, and T-Mobile got together and joined up.
Nice.
Facebook, Twitter, and T-Mobile. If you put those in a blender and hit frappe, that is Solivay. And that is the beauty of what Todd and I are going to share with you right here and right now on this webinar, giving you the opportunity to cash in on social media. You know, you look at the companies involved, look at how much money the founders of Facebook made when they took that company public. Look how much money the mobile industry is making off of all of us right now. With Solivay, we have the ability to cash in on that and to be able to really redefine commerce by combining mobile and social. In fact, the term that we're coining, the term that we're using, is we're creating an industry called social commerce. And what's going to happen as a result is Solvay will be a captive market of millions. Now, when I looked at this, when my old friend Rob McFadden and then the CEO Ryan Wersch explained to me what Solvay was all about, I had a couple of aha moments, and I'll share with you what those aha moments were. And as Ryan Wersch, the CEO and founder of Solvay, and the first person that he brought in to the company was my friend Rob McFadden. And what Ryan had was really an epiphany that a single relationship has the potential to make life better for many. Now, that is beautifully spoken, and I've thought that same thing but never put it in those terms before. But I've seen it happen in my own personal life, that I've developed a single relationship with a business partner or a single relationship with someone in my personal life, and seen that single relationship have a dramatic impact, not just on our lives, that person's lives, but on many other people's lives as well. And so Solvay has a mission to make commerce less expensive for the consumer. Now, when I talk about Solvay combining Twitter, Facebook, and T-Mobile, and I talk a lot about mobile and mobile services, you probably realize that that's one of the things that we're going to be talking a lot about today is mobile services. But what I truly believe, Todd, down the road, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, whenever, but I believe, Todd, we're going to be sitting on a beach somewhere laughing, enjoying the beverage of our choice, and we're going to be saying, remember when all Solvay was mobile service?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is today. But the vision of our founder and CEO is that it's going to be much, much more than mobile service. Everything is going to be based upon value, giving the consumer a way to save money. And then to go beyond that, it's really important that you understand the mission here is to go beyond helping people save money and then to really transcend things and make commerce, in fact, what would be better than less expensive, to actually make commerce profitable for the consumer. Make this idea of being able to save money profitable, meaning that they can actually make money from that, and that is what is going to create a viral brand that everyone will be interested in. Now, Todd, you and I were starting, before we started the webinar today, we were chit-chatting and catching up. We hadn't spoken in a couple of days. And I was sharing with you some of the information that I'd gotten from the CEO, Ryan Wersch, just yesterday. And we speak a couple of times a week on the phone. And he had told me that we already have, in a company that is brand new, because this brand is already starting to spread viral. And Todd, you know, you're behind part of that. You're getting the word out. Your people, your subscriber, your friends and associates, even your family members, they're starting to hear about Solvay, and this is a very viral message. And the reason it works so well is because people love to save money. You know, an analogy I'll often use when I'm teaching, Todd, is when you have people. You know, and people are people. People are human nature. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. I don't know how many million people are in Atlanta, but if I went to the very top roof of this big hotel that I'm in right now, and I looked out over metropolitan Atlanta, that's millions of people. Todd, most of them do not have an interest in being an entrepreneur. Most of them do not have an interest in starting their own business. Yet most of them need more money. And all of them were taught a penny saved is a penny earned. So the first thing, and I know you've been experiencing this, Todd, the first thing that lights people up and gets them excited about Solvay is the very first benefit they're going to get from Solvay is it's going to save them money on something they're already spending money on. Did you hear what I just said there? That's a very important distinction here. Very important distinction when you look at Solvay is we're going to save everyone money. And everyone that we see on a daily basis not only needs what we have, they use what we have. Did you know, Todd, there are more mobile phone subscriptions right now in the world than there are electricity subscriptions in the world?
Wow.
Over
Yeah, I guess that
six,
makes sense because there's multiple per household.
multiple per household, absolutely. You have over 6 billion mobile phone subscription in the world today and less than 6 billion electricity subscriptions. And now here's one that's actually sad. There are more people with mobile phones than have safe drinking water in the world today.
Whoa.
Yeah. So as I look out the window of my hotel and I see all these cars streaming by on what I think is Interstate 85 here in Atlanta, they're all using mobile phones, every single one of them. In fact, some of them are freaks like me, and they're carrying more than one mobile phone with them everywhere they go.
Right, right.
So that's really the premise behind the discussion. So let's use a simple example, Todd, of you and I. We sit down. We sit down at lunch. You know, we have a personal relationship. We sit down at lunch and we chit chat and we talk. And you know, one of our phones is going to go off. You know, I usually try to be polite, and even just in a personal setting, I will turn off my ringer and at least turn it to vibrate. But chances are, Todd, if we're sitting there for a half hour, 45 minutes for lunch, one of our phones is going to go off. You right? Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
And
Happens every time.
happens every time. Yeah. And we talk a lot about our phones. Now, Todd, you and I happen to be carrying the same phone today, and it's frankly, in my opinion, in the opinion of many third-party reviewers on the internet, it's the best smartphone on the market today. And when I use this phone, people comment on it. People, you know, because people are, what kind of phone do they use? Oh, they use an iPhone. Oh, yeah, so okay, a lot of people use iPhone. What phone is that? Oh, I haven't seen that phone. Oh, what is that phone? Well, I explained mine's an HTC One Android phone, and I love it. And it's amazing to me the features in this phone. And I'm talking about the phone, right? Just because I love the phone, not anything about Solove. I'm talking about the phone. But one of the things I absolutely love to share with people is that this phone only cost me $49 a month, unlimited voice, text, data, and 4G nationwide coverage, and amazing speed on the data. Now, when I tell that to someone, when I say, yeah, I love this phone and it's only $49 a month, you know what? Their response is always the same. It's always the same. What? Say what? $49 a month. Here's an interesting statistic for you. And Todd, I don't even know if you knew this statistic. The average mobile phone subscriber in the United States today pays $71 a month.
Well, that's
Now,
way less than me.
but that's everybody. That's everybody. That's including all the feature phones that don't have data.
That includes the non-web.
Yes, that's just the old flip phones. They're referred to as feature phones. That's everybody. The average mobile phone subscription in the United States today is $71 a month. So when I say I'm paying $49 a month, that's cheaper than everybody. Now I have found a couple of people, and I do mean a couple as in two, that paid $49 a month, but it was 49 and change. It was like 49.31 with tax or something like that. I'm like, I gotcha, right? Okay, but that's a rarity. And in fact, when I'm talking about a smartphone, the best of breed on the market today is Android smartphone. You give this to someone who loves an iPhone, and they will fall out of love with their iPhone fast. And I'm great with iPhones. I love Apple. All hail Steve Jobs. I'm grateful for all he did to further our society and push mobile where he did. But I could name 10 former iPhone users using this HTC One that absolutely love it. But my point is this phone is $49 a month for everything. I was on AT&T paying over $100 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, and the only reason I had unlimited is because I had a very old program. You cannot go into AT&T today and get unlimited data. They don't have it. Of the
Yeah,
one,
I'm not. I am just getting off of that, and I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month for the unlimited for a couple of phones, 2, 3 phones for the family.
yeah,
It's 3 now. I had just added someone else before this came along, and 300 a month is just it really hurts.
Yeah, I have my cell phone bill is over $500 a month for 5 cell phones before Solivay.
Wow.
Solivay cut my bill in half, and I can tell you right now, I don't care who you are, when you take one of your bills, you improve the quality of service in many forms, improve the quality of service, and you cut the price in half. You will get excited about that, and you will share that story with people, and that is one of the absolute beauties of Solivay. And in fact, when I tell people about it, the first thing that they want to do is they want to find out, well, so how do I get started? I mean, how does it work? How do you get set up paying $49 a month? And what happens to me is I quickly, as I share this message with Solivay, I quickly start adding customers. But the beautiful thing about Solivay that's different from anything I've ever had with a mobile phone carrier, because I've told people about AT&T and what I liked about AT&T before, and what I liked about the phone that I had with AT&T, and I've told people about Sprint. I was with Sprint before AT&T, and I was with I think it was with Quest before Sprint. I've bragged on my cell phones for years. I've bragged on the service for years, and if I didn't like the service, I told them why I switched. Okay. The thing is I never got paid for that before. Now, guess what, Todd? Solivay pays me because the 4 major mobile carriers spend literally billions of dollars every year on advertising. Solivay spends no money on advertising. Because they don't spend money on advertising, they give the money back to you and I. And that is an amazing concept. And as I said, it goes way beyond mobile because we actually now already have a program where as we spend money at major retailers like Amazon.com, Home Depot, Best Buy, and others, it actually creates money for us as well.
Whoa.
And yeah, now that's not something that we're probably going to have time to get into on this webinar. Let's just say that's a nice bonus. But when you watch the vision video after our webinar today, you're going to hear even more about that. But that's exciting stuff. And when I share that with something, you know what that has? That has a very interested person that I'm talking to about this because they like everything that I've just said. Because they like to save money, and let's face it, they certainly like to make money. So when I have a very interested you at lunch, Todd, I simply pull out my phone, and I can run my entire business from my HTC One smartphone. Now, one of the things that's really important that people understand right now, Todd, and everybody on this webinar, you need to understand where you are from a positioning standpoint. As Todd mentioned, I'm connected at the top. I work directly with the CEO, Ryan Wersch. We are in what's referred to as pre-launch stage. So now what I'm showing you on our app and on the phone and signing people up on your phone and signing people up on a website, that will all be available after launch on September the 21st. That's our nationwide launch on September the 21st. So what Todd and I are doing right now is we're participating in what's called pre-launch. And what we're doing is we're setting everything up and helping people that we like, love, and trust set themselves up in a business that is, well, Todd, you hear about the term ground floor opportunity. This is not ground floor opportunity. It's going to be a while before we get to the ground floor here.
Which is very cool. I have to interject just for a second because
Absolutely.
At the beginning I didn't, and a lot of people here right now know about a previous venture that I recommended 3 years ago where it was a ground floor opportunity, and the people that listened to me then and moved immediately because it was ground floor, 6 figures. They made 6 figures since it's exactly 3 years. And I'm not trying to, put out false hopes or promises or anything like that. All I'm saying is it's extremely important to move on something when it first is released, when you know it's going to be big. And we will go into the logistics of why a little bit later. And folks, if we don't cover enough for you, I'll be happy to discuss that with you later. But it's really important for folks to understand that I only gravitate towards something that's going to be successful by watching the people who are first getting involved, because they don't mess around. So the various people that have gotten involved, like Jerry and others, with Solivay, are the people that I emulate, that I trust, that have helped me make a lot of money in the past. And
Well,
I want to make that clear how important that point is, that so many, even people that are into direct sales marketing, don't understand. When you have a successful model, and you're following successful people, and you're in at the ground floor before it explodes, you can do extremely well. And I just want to make that clear.
well, very well said, and it's very important that everyone on this webinar understands how leveraged they are with hockey stick type growth in front of us. And I think it's appropriate at this point, Todd, that we talk a little bit about the people involved, because when let me just pull up. I've got kind of a little bit of a bio here on executives of the company here. When my old well, to call him a friend really would have been a little bit of a stretch. He was really more of an acquaintance than a friend. He really was. Robert McFadden is, and I talked about running into Rob in the Apple store, and then him later Facebooking me. Rob McFadden is what's called the head of sales. He was the former president of Veridian Network. And for some reason, my highlighter's not sticking very well, so I'll use the spotlight. When you talk about a guy like Jim Ryan, who's head of products, he's the former head of mobile data services of AT&T at Sprint and O2 as well. Jim was the guy that was involved with bringing Apple and AT&T together on the iPhone deal. You've got Rick White, a former congressman, and you've got Ali Hebner, former chief of accounting officer for T-Mobile. Jose Rojas, head of operations, he's basically the COO. He's a former J.P. Morgan Chase payment executive. He was the #1 guy in J.P. Morgan Chase's payment division. You have Stan Simpliciano, who's become a friend. He's former T-Mobile head of MVNO, and he's the head of mobile network services. On and on and on, the level of people involved in the company, let alone the CEO and founder, Ryan Wersch, who personally funded and started a company called Motricity, and grew that company to in excess of $1 billion. So these are people that know how to operate a major corporation and how to start and grow a technology company. But then when you take a look at the board of advisors and investors, you have guys like John Rittenhouse, who's the chairman and CEO of Cavallino Capital. He's the former COO of Walmart, Louis Vuitton, and Target. You've got Sue Noakes, former SVP of Asurion, or she is the SVP of Asurion, former COO of T-Mobile. John Miller, former chairman and CEO of AOL. On and on and on. Eddie Lazarus, one of my favorites, former FCC chief of staff. We are talking about major league influential business people that understand and know business and are putting not only their reputations but also their money behind Solivay. So I think it is appropriate that we bring that up right here, Todd, because you talk about getting in on the ground level and being involved with the startup. That's phenomenal. But
Yeah, and following the people who are looking at big money. I mean, these people wouldn't be wasting their time. And then one level down from that, where they've come to us kind of as internet marketers, I'm seeing the biggest internet marketers and the strongest players get involved. And when you see that happening, that's what was so compelling for me. One of the questions I have is, there is an unusual assortment of big companies seeming to be represented here. It almost looks to me, looking at these names, that these companies have something going on themselves. Because why is it that you have Amazon and Best Buy and Home Depot, and then you also have Target involved? There's the list right there. Thank you. I just don't really fully understand if there isn't some sort of hidden agenda to make this even bigger than what we're going to be presenting here today, in that these are the big guys in U.S. commerce. What are they doing? I mean, it's almost as if they're up to something, as if they know something that everyone else doesn't with this venture, if you see what I'm getting at. Look at all those companies represented.
Yeah, we have over 31 corporate partners that are major, big time corporate names in not just corporate America, but the corporate world. I mean, our HTC phones, I love the slogan. You see the HTC quietly brilliant. I've had a lot of smartphones, and I know a lot of friends that have a lot of different smartphones. This smartphone is the greatest smartphone I've ever used. HTC has personally invested over $100 million in inventory to support Solvay. ZTE, the fourth largest handset manufacturer, mobile handset manufacturer in the world, based in China, has also invested $100 million in capitalization and inventory to Solvay. These companies know something, these individuals know something, and you've got to know something. You've got to know and understand that this is it's going to be huge. I'd say going to be huge. It is huge already at the stage that we're at. With basically we've only been onboarding people for about a month now. We have now 27,000 people clamoring to get in and get started and get a part of this and let their cell phone pay them for a change. It's not an official slogan, Todd, but one of the slogans I use, one of the catch lines I like to use is, "It's time that your cell phone started paying you for a change."
Right. Right.
And I talked to one of my partners and team members yesterday. I was driving. And her name's Kim. Kim was so excited she got a FedEx yesterday. She only just got started with the company. She got a FedEx yesterday, a letter from the CEO, and a $150 check. Now, a $150 check is not going to set the world on fire, but you know what? Her cell phone paid her $150. How much has your cell phone ever paid you? And I'll tell you, this concept, Todd, is so fantastic, but to realize that it's so much bigger than just a cell phone, because as this grows, as this business grows, as this opportunity grows, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be about a lot more than just cell phone coverage.
Yeah, that's what it appears to be, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the beautiful things about what we're doing is it's all centered around mobile and this Solvay mobile apps, so that we can literally run our business from our phone. We can see what's happening in the feed, and then with the integration that we have with the social media, as things happen in our business, congrats, Amy, on making a $150 fab. I just got $85 from Solvay. This rocks. With the integration that we will have at launch with the social media, spreading the word on this and telling people about this is going to be so simple. Now, remember when I talked about going to the top of this hotel that I'm in here in Atlanta and looking out over the millions of people here in Metro Atlanta? Those millions of people don't have an interest in starting a business and being entrepreneurs. They have an interest in saving money. But because of the social media integration, because of how easy it is to tell people about save money on your cell phone bill, because of the fact that it impacts everyone, and you can easily sign up a friend with the enroll button right on your phone, average people with no intention of making money and starting a business are going to start a business, and they're going to be making money. And it's so simple to sign people up. Right on the phone, you can see, what's your current network? Well, for me, it was AT&T. Click on that. Are you currently under contract? Yes, no, or not sure. And by the way, I see questions pouring in the panel, which we'll address. Okay? Do you want to purchase a phone? That phone on the left is the phone that Todd and I purchased, the HTC One S. We have the HTC Wildfire and the ZTE Origin as well. Now, some people will just what we call BYOD, and they'll bring their own device. And so that's actually one of the options there. You see at the bottom of the screen that I already have a phone. And then you go to the next step. I mean, talk about simple. What is your current iPhone? Is it an Android? Is it an iPhone, Windows Mobile, other? Mobile service plan. All you can eat mobile voice, SMS, and data for $49 a month. Put in your payment information, all right there on a secure connection right over the phone. Your name, the card number, the billing address, the payment activation. congratulations, your new SIM card and everything you need to get started is on its way. And then literally they're going to send the card that'll pop right into that
You know,
phone.
I've never seen this before. This demonstration that you're doing right here.
Isn't this phenomenal?
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
Literally within minutes of signing up right over the phone, you get an email that says, welcome to Solvay and congratulations. Here's your username, here's your password, you can log right into the system, and you are up and running. And as soon as your SIM card arrives in the mail in a couple of days, you pop that SIM card right into your phone in the next day or so. Or if, like Todd and I, you buy a phone from Solvay, in fact, there's the box, Todd, that's the exact box that we got, the HTC One S box. You start using your brand new Solvay phone. And within about a week, you'll get your Solvay Bank of America debit card, and
Now
then
that's cool. I've never seen this.
cool?
I want to see that debit card.
Yeah, here's the even cooler part about the debit card. Guess what's going to happen on a twice-a-month basis with that Bank of America Solvay debit card? On the 12th and the 24th of every month, a beautiful thing is going to happen. Your cell phone is going to start paying you, literally. And I'm talking about, it could be a little, it could be a lot, depends upon your level of activity, depends upon your marketing, and depends upon how closely you follow Todd's example. Because Todd, I got to say, of all the people that I'm working with and all my business partners, Todd, you are right there at the top in terms of getting out there, being successful, sharing the message, and showing people how simple it is to start earning money with their cell phone. And I mean, this is, what about this business could you not like? I mean, everything about this just smacks of simplicity and success.
Wow, that card is just too attractive.
Isn't it a great thing?
Yeah, the idea of
Yeah.
having a card loaded like that twice a month.
And then the really cool thing about this card, Sim, and as we use this Solvay Bank of America card, as we use it at featured retailers, for example, like Target, or some people call it Target,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
you actually are going to have money going back into the Solvay system, and Solvay shares 50 cents of every dollar that comes in, shares that with those of us who are members of Solvay.
Is that right
And
away that that happens, or is this down the line?
this is after launch, after the official launch,
You
September
mean after
21st launch.
September 21st, this is commissionable? People will already start getting commissions when people use that card to purchase?
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely. I'm going to
wow, I
hit the
didn't
mute
realize
button
that.
I'm going to hit the mute button while I sneeze here 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so the way it works is we're all going to get our Bank of America Solvay card, and when we use that card at participating merchants, for example, Target, when we swipe that card there is going to be a percentage, anywhere from 5 to 15% of the purchase at these partner companies that comes back to Solvay, and then that money is shared with all of us as members. And again, it's
Oh,
a very important concept, and it's a very important premise. In the bylaws of the corporation, they pay back 50% of all the money that comes in, they pay back to us as members. And literally, we can become members for only $49. It's phenomenal. Now, we've taken this out to focus groups. The company actually went and they found a great place to go to get focus groups. We're talking cell phones, and people like to save money. They went to college campuses, and they put together focus groups and shared the message of, here's what Solvay is going to be. Now, remember, we're in pre-launch, okay? So as we are now a month or so into pre-launch, we're starting to see what people's reaction is, because we're actually, you and I, Todd, out doing it. But before we actually had the ability to go out, these focus groups, they went out and they shared with them the mission and the vision of Solvay. 71% of the people in those focus groups said yes, absolutely. They would love to share, not only participate in Solvay and save money, but 71% said yes, they would share it with people that they know, because they know people that would like to save money as well.
wow.
From a focus group standpoint, from that
Well, it's
success rate,
very
phenomenal.
it's very much a conversation piece. Like, for instance, this is the kind of thing that I would call my father up and tell him about. And then I know that my cousin, as an example, is always looking for um, ways to make a few extra dollars and is interested right off the bat. So I would tell him about it, and then he is the type of person that would tell a few people about it. And we all know people like that, that like the idea of making some extra income just by informing somebody else about something like this. They get it. Some people just get it. Um, but others probably would sign up just to save the money.
Most definitely, they would sign up just to save the money, and but the beautiful thing about it, and why we're going to be so successful as entrepreneurs and as business owners, the reason we're going to be so successful is because with no intention, people will get in and they will share it and they will be successful. Now, when we asked, it was really funny in the focus groups when they asked the people in the focus groups, well, how many people could you sign up within 60 days? Most of them, their answer was dozens. Well, I'm going to take this to everybody I know, and we said, well, okay. And I know, some of you will definitely do that, but we'll just say, let's see, what if scenario. What if all you did was sign up 6 people within your first 60 days with Solvay? Just 6 people within your first 60 days. You would earn a one-time $150 fast action bonus plus $40 per month in monthly residual. Remember when I said Kim got a letter from the CEO and got a $150 check yesterday? Todd,
Hmm.
remember we talked about that?
Yeah, yeah.
This was her fab. We call it fab. It's a fast action bonus, and that was her $150 fab for signing up 6 people. Which was a no-brainer for her. And so then again, that creates then a $40 per month residual income. Now, let's use Kim as an example here. Kim's paying $49 a month for her mobile service, and the company's paying her $40. So what does her cell phone cost her? Well, it costs her $9 a month. Now, in this scenario, and this is a beautiful thing about this model, is people love to tell people, if all you did was help of those 6 people, if you just helped 3 of them, so just half of them, if you helped those 3 people sign up 3 people as customers, you'd earn an additional $110 per month for a total residual income of $150 every month. So now how much is your cell phone bill? Well, let's see, you paid out 49 and the company sent you 150. So my math says your cell phone is actually now paying you $101 a month. Now, I like to keep things simple, and also, Todd, I like to be conservative. And I'm a dreamer and I'm an optimist and I love big numbers. But let's bring it all the way back down. If you've got someone that this is all they did, they now have a cell phone that is free, and their cell phone bill is now paying, let's just use, for example, their DirecTV bill. I think my DirecTV bill is around $100 a month, which is a whole other topic. It didn't start out there, but they ratcheted it up, right, as they had these other NFL package and MLB package and all these other services, right?
Yep.
Well, in this scenario right here, with $101 extra dollars coming from your cell phone, you've got a cell phone that's now paying for your DirecTV, for example. How
Right.
great is that?
We're getting close to a car payment there too.
That's the next step.
Yeah, not that far.
No, not that far. That's the next step, is a car payment. And what's after a car payment, Todd? A house
Mortgage,
payment.
yeah, mortgage payment.
Yeah, mortgage payment. So now you got a cell phone that's paying your car payment, and then you keep working away, and the word keeps spreading, and then now you've got a cell phone that's actually paying your mortgage payment. And if you understand how big this is, then I hope that you're going to do 2 things right here on this webinar. One, and I see several of you already doing it in the chat panel, thanking Todd. I would say the first thing you should do is you better thank Todd for getting you here to this webinar. And the second thing you better do is when Todd gives you the link to get signed up, you've got to join in and get signed up with this, because look at how this grows. You help 6 sign up 3. You're earning a total residual of $260 per month. Your cell phone costs you $49. You're now making $211, I guess it would be, a month, right? And it just grows and grows and grows. And Todd, for me, this was my first aha. When the CEO, Ryan Wersch, over the phone, explained to me his vision and what it is that Solvay is all about. For me, it was a big aha, because I realized, wait a minute, this is not about $50 a month cell phone bill. It's about a $50 a month cell phone bill that immediately starts going down. That if people, Todd, if people will do what you show them to do, they'll only pay a $50 cell phone bill one time, because the very next month it's going to be less than 50 if it's not already free, if it's not already paying the money. And that's the beauty in this. And so just to help you understand how fast this is going and how it's already going viral, right now Todd and I are officially signed up, and we're using the phones and loving it. And so just to kind of help give you a little bit of vision to what we call the launch plan, because we're in pre-launch right now. We just recently had, on July the 25th, a company-wide web conference, like a webinar on July the 25th. And we had over 2,000 members signed up. In fact, we had over 5,000 people on the live webinar. And that was a milestone, because that then is building towards the largest webinar in history. We're calling it, Todd, the WLW, the world's largest webinar.
Nice.
That date is August the 22nd, and that's a very important date for every single person on this webinar right now, because that is the date when you're going to go live and be a part of that WLW, and you're going to actually officially be able to sign up and pay for your phone service and become a part of Solivay. And so what you're doing here on the webinar today is getting signed in. In fact, right now we have over 25,000 members signed in, and we're building towards the commercial launch. And that commercial launch date is actually September the 21st. So I want you to consider what a great privilege it is, and also what a great opportunity it is that Todd Gross invited you to this webinar, and you have the ability to onboard, start using the service before the actual official commercial launch on September the 21st, where we will onboard over 250,000 members. And as you can probably see from the caricatures there, we're going to have celebrity personalities, a huge launch party in Seattle, and a live webcast from the actual event itself, where there are going to be some amazing announcements made, amazing new bonuses, and just incredible additions onto what we already have. And it is on that date, on September the 21st, that we're actually then going to be live nationwide, using our phones to sign up customers, using our websites to sign up customers, and everything is real, and it's live, and it's happening. And Todd, I know that's a special day. We've both got that circled on our calendar.
Yeah. It's also the autumnal equinox, so perfect synergy.
Perfect synergy, and maybe that didn't even happen on accident. I'm wondering if maybe that was on purpose. For people that care about that sort of thing. So understand, that's the official commercial launch for the United States, but understand, already in the works, within the next 12 months after launch, we will have a global network. And in fact, we're already in discussions with just under a dozen different countries to take Solivay global in the next year. So your positioning right now with Todd Gross and being on this webinar could not possibly be better. Your timing could not possibly be better right now than it currently is, because this is only going to get bigger and bigger and better, because the product is going to evolve. Again, initially it's going to be all about cell phone service, but the product evolution is going to evolve. It's going to go beyond just mobile services, and in fact we're going to make the system smarter. And my second big aha, Todd, was the fact that once we have 1 million cell phones out there in customers' hands, we push a button. That button lights up 1 million cell phones, and the app, the mobile app that's running on those phones, and we can now then bring them additional ways that they can save money. All value-based services that are going to help them not only save money, but make money. That, for
Captive
me,
audience,
Todd,
if I've ever heard.
Yeah, absolutely. I call it the digital drip. We've installed the digital drip into their arm, that phone that they carry with them 23 hours a day. And when we do that, we will then be able to just launch additional services. Once again, all value based and all going to be centered around helping people save money and then make money. And that includes additional services like energy, like cable. It includes more merchant partners. Our list of merchant partners is growing. Our list of third-party merchants is growing. And we will hit critical mass. And as we do, that's going to create increased volume, new services, merchant partners, and third-party merchants added, because these companies are going to be clamoring. They're going to be begging Solivay, please, 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 let us be a part of your network. Let us be a part of what it is that you're doing, because we're already, even right now today, being so successful. So the bottom line here, this is going to be huge. It's a global social marketing and social commerce network creating a viral effect that will capture millions. The Solivay name will be a $10 billion brand. And you have the opportunity right here today on this webinar to be on the cutting edge, to be way before a ground floor opportunity, and the ability for you to create not only a very profitable business, but you're going to have the ability here to create what I truly feel is a legacy. It's going to be a legacy that you're going to be able to pass on to the people you care about most in life. And let's face it, as this thing goes viral over the next few weeks to the next few months, it is all going to spread like wildfire. And when it spreads like wildfire, you got to understand, people in your social networks, your Facebook friends, your Twitter followers, they will be signing up. They will be getting involved. And as the CEO Ryan Worsh likes to say, we will have, quite literally, bazillions of people involved as Solivay spreads, and as we watch this become just a phenomenal business and opportunity that I've got to give all credit where credit's due to our CEO and founder, Ryan Worsh, who's become a friend, and he's obviously a visionary business leader, and he's someone that I have chosen to absolutely follow into battle. And Todd, that is Solivay.
I'm exhausted just watching the excitement from that little slide presentation.
Well, you see a lot of excitement there, and you see a lot of people that are they're asking questions, and we're going to take all your questions. We're going to answer all your questions. We've been able to answer some of them as we've actually gone through, and the most common question that we're getting here on the webinar, Todd, is how do I get signed up? What do I do to get signed up? And so, could you do me a favor in the chat panel there, Todd? Could you actually put in the sign-up link? I know you created a little sign-up link page. Could you actually put that into the chat panel?
Into the chat, absolutely.
Because that makes it really nice, and they can just actually even just click on that.
Well, it's really easy to remember. It's just cellphoneservice.me. That's all they have to do is go there, and then here's what will happen. When you go there, you'll see me requesting information from you, but the actual process at this point is actually very personal. So what you'll be signing up for is just so that I can get a database of people that are interested, and then I will send you a personal invitation from something called the Lane at Solivay.
Yeah, in fact, let me show all that. I'm going to show all that here on the screen here, Todd. So what I will do is, if you will put that in, put a www in front of that in the chat panel, that will actually make that a clickable link, so people don't even have to type that in on their on their web browser. Yeah, because what we want that to do is, yeah, there we go. So you make it a clickable link. See, sorry, I'm being a little bit lazy. I then actually click on that link, and it takes me directly to your cell phone service. What was it? Cellphoneservice.com, right?
No, that me.
.me. Thank you. It's right in the link there.
It's
And
because just think of the way to remember that is Todd is very narcissistic. He only thinks about himself, and that's why he always does .me.
well, that's actually comical because I've seen you prove that that's not the case. That you always think about other people as well.
It's just my wife's opinion.
So I'm going to put in my name, and I'm going to do Jerry at toddgross.info, and the best number for me is 800-555-1212. I click submit on that, and when I do, it takes me directly to our CEO, Ryan Wersch, and his Solivay Vision video. Now, this is a great video. I'd love for you to watch it after the webinar. Let that page load. Go to that link right now. Click on that link, and you see the video is just sitting there waiting for you. If you would, then come right on back over to our webinar and watch the video after the webinar, okay? But what's going to happen is when you go to cellphoneservice.me and you just put in your quick info there, you're going to get an email from Todd, and this is the actual email. You're going to see it comes from the Lane Solivay. The subject line is Todd Gross would like to invite you to Solivay. Okay, so that's really simple. So then when you open up that email, you're going to see, hello, Jerry Foster. You've been invited by Todd Gross to learn more about Solivay. I want you to understand this is not an obligation, okay? This is you telling Todd, I'm really serious about learning more about this, and I'm really serious about determining if this is going to be a good fit for me. Now, I want you to come down here, and I want you to come to the second link here. The first link you don't have to worry about. That's kind of a duplication of effort because this link right here you already got. Remember the page? Let me pull it up here. That's what this is. That link takes you to the Vimeo Vision video, which is 39 minutes and 36 seconds long. All right. So it's really important that you understand that this is the link you want to click on. So the email again, subject line, Todd Gross would like to invite you to Solivay. And Todd, I'm finding that most of those are going directly into the inbox, but I know you've had a couple of people that mentioned that it came and landed in their spam. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Even Gmail, some go to spam, some don't. I don't know why.
So just check your inbox first, and if it's not in your inbox, then go to spam or your junk mail folder. And Todd, tell them when they can expect this because I know this is a manual process.
Right. So it would be within the next 24 hours, more likely sooner than later. So you'll want to start checking within an hour or two after we wrap up here. But please check all day, during the day, and tomorrow. And then by the end of that period, we'll be caught up. And that means that some of you should be checking your spam folder fairly regularly over the next 12 to 24 hours. I'll try to get it done as soon as I can, but there's just so much interest. And please understand that while this sounds a little screwy the way it's set up, where I'm now going to have to manually invite you, that's going to connect us. And I'm going to be able to help you more than ever by connecting so directly with you like that.
And it's really important that people understand two words. And I'm going to write very poorly with my mouse. Those two magic words. We are in what's referred to as pre-launch. Okay, so this is a system designed as you'll hear Ryan Wersch, our CEO and founder, talk about on that webinar, that vision video. He talks about a closed loop test. Okay, he is actually putting things in place to control the growth at this point because it's already going viral. And one simple thing that puts a speed bump in the way, as Todd just described, is he's manually going to be entering in your names in the lane. And I'm going to show that, by the way, Todd. I think that's very helpful if people see that process because, Todd, wouldn't you agree that everyone that gets signed up with you, as soon as they confirm in the lane, they need to be putting people in that lane right away and getting people excited about Solivay, right?
Absolutely. In fact, other people will also be able to go on board in that time period around August 22nd. And that's coming up very quickly. So there's not much time that you have before that onboarding period. And it's not that you can't invite people for the national launch, which is in the end of September, but it would be very beneficial to you if you can get people in 1 month early. And that's going to be an important time period for everybody. So the sooner you move on this, the better.
Yeah, the sooner you get in and get started and start filling your lane, again, the term here is lane, the sooner you are filling your lane, the better off you're going to be. So, so let me see here. Let me open up my email that I was just showing a screen capture of. But here is the actual email. So we're going live without a net here, Todd. So where it says here, click here, all right, click here. I'm going to click on that lane invite, and I want to show everyone what happens here. This takes you directly into the Solivay lane system. You notice here, you'll all each have your own unique lane access. Also notice, and this is something that's very exciting, everyone here has access to both the English Vision video and the Spanish Vision video. Now, you don't need to watch it at that point because, remember, you've already got it right here. This is the English version, but if you wanted to watch it in Spanish, if you click on that right there, you see that's a clickable button that would take you to the Spanish version. Okay. All right. So this is where you fill in your information. It's already captured your email address there, but so again, I'll put my info here, and let's do 123 Mayberry Lane. You see, I've done that before. And I'm in Atlanta today, and it starts with a 3. How's that? All right, easy enough. That's your now put your real contact information in, right? I'm just putting in sample contact information. Give your actual contact information here, and then notice this portion right here. Think of this as a survey. Okay, who is your current mobile carrier? I don't know, my highlighter must be low on ink, Todd. It's not stain lit. Who is your current mobile carrier? Now, you're not changing any service at this point. You're not paying for anything. This is a survey. Understand, from a logistics and operations standpoint, this company is going to onboard 250,000 people over the next month and a half to 2 months. So from a logistics and operations standpoint, and my friend Jose Rojas, who's our COO, head of operations, he's very, very interested in this. So I put in, when I went through and filled by now, AT&T was my current mobile carrier. And then I looked at the 3 phone choices plus the SIM card, and Todd and I both chose, because we're kind of like techie guys, we like to have the best technology out there, we both chose the HTC One phone. Don't get me started on this phone. That's another 2-hour webinar, how much I love this phone and what it will do, okay? Just know that the company is not subsidizing, is the term, the cost of the phones. Most cell phone carriers in the United States subsidize the cost of the phones. Therefore, we're not used to paying that price for a phone. I can tell you right now, if you went to T-Mobile and bought the HTC One phone without a contract, you would pay $600, not $529. The reason is Solivay is literally selling these phones at cost. Okay, so 3 options: the HTC One, the Wildfire for $249, and the ZTE Origin. And Todd, this is a great phone. I actually had a chance to use this out at the corporate offices in Seattle, Washington. I predict that this ZTE Origin phone, which is a great Android smartphone, is going to be our #1 bestseller. It's a great value.
That's not a subsidized phone, and that's about the price that you'd pay for the subsidized phones when you go in and get looped into one of those multi-year contracts.
Yeah, and remember, this is no contracts. May not have even said that so far in the webinar. It's very important you understand. No contracts.
And there's not even any roaming fees, which is amazing, and it is unlimited everything, including the web.
Yeah, talk, text, and data, true unlimited. The 4th option here, we're calling BYOD, bring your own device, okay? So you can bring your own device. That's option number 4. I will tell you that that there are consumers that are interested in this choice, paying $29 for a SIM card, and you would just click the box right here, and then they will send you a SIM card, and you can use your own phone, BYOD. So two things very important that you understand about that. First of all, it has to be a GSM unlocked phone. There are two network types, GSM and CDMA. AT&T and T-Mobile use the GSM network, as does most of the rest of the world.
Right, correct. I know that from when I went overseas and my daughter
When you
went
travel
overseas.
internationally. I'm leaving tonight on a jet plane and going overseas and traveling internationally, and I'm going to take my HTC One unlocked GSM phone. Another benefit of buying these phones is they're all unlocked, and I'm going to pop a SIM card into my HTC One phone and be able to use it internationally because it's an unlocked GSM phone. Okay? So that's item number one from a BYOD perspective, is it's got to be a GSM unlocked phone. That means if you have a Verizon phone or a Sprint phone, a Metro PCS phone, a Virgin Mobile phone, those are all running on Verizon and Sprint's networks, which are not GSM. It's called CDMA. Okay, but if you wanted to get a GSM unlocked phone, just Google GSM unlocked phone, and you will get dozens of locations online where you can buy very inexpensively GSM unlocked phones. Okay,
I
I
think
said I
you
was
can
going
on
to
eBay too.
eBay and Craigslist both. Yeah, absolutely. Now I told you I was going to tell you two things about this fourth option. Option number 4 is buy a SIM card. The first thing is what types of phones would work. The second is purely a marketing perspective. Todd and I are involved as business owners and entrepreneurs. So from a marketing perspective, let me ask you a simple question. Would it make sense that Todd Gross takes his AT&T phone, pops a Solivay SIM card into it, and when he's telling people about his amazing new cell phone service, that it's only $49 a month and it's very simple to get signed up, would it make sense when someone says, well, let me see that phone, and he shows them the phone or he hands them the phone and it says AT&T? Well, that doesn't make any sense from a marketing perspective, does it?
No.
That would be like going into to McDonald's and them putting your food in a Burger King bag so that you could walk out with your McDonald's food in a Burger King bag. I don't know if that analogy works for you, but it's just maybe I'm
Got me
hungry at
hungry, I'll
this
tell you
point.
that.
Maybe I'm hungry, and that food doesn't sound good, by the way, but I am hungry. So from a marketing perspective, I think you would see with me that if you're interested in creating a substantial income, that really the only choice is to buy a phone. Now, understand when I say that, I'm not making any money when you buy a phone. Todd Gross is not making any money when you buy a phone. Solivay is not making any money when you buy a phone because these prices are at cost. And you don't have to wonder if they are. You can look it up and go to the mobile phone carriers and see what they charge for these phones. If you don't sign a contract, it's actually more than these prices because T-Mobile doesn't sell the HTC One at cost. They sell it for a profit. It's $600. They make $80 profit, which in their world's 15% margin. That's pretty good for retail on an electronics item. Okay. Okay. So now that I've scribbled up that screen, let me clear that off. So what I'm saying is pick the phone that you think would be the best fit for you. Todd and I both picked the HTC One. If you hover over it, it tells you a little bit about it. Okay. All right. Now the most challenging part of the whole form for me, Todd, is the CAPTCHA.
Me too. I keep hitting the refresh.
I don't know why this is such a challenge for me. Wait for it. Yes, I got the CAPTCHA right the first time. Okay, so it says thank you for registering for the lane. In a few minutes, you'll receive an email with your password and the link to the lane to get started. Not to let it sit there in your inbox and not do something with it. To get started, log in with your email address and your password. Okay, so let me switch back over here to my email. And looky there, there's already a new account creation email waiting there for me.
Uh-huh.
So it's instantaneous. It's instantaneous, you can see. And so then I'm going to click right here to get started. So when I click on that link, it takes me directly into the Lane website, and I put in my email address, and my temporary password. And I just copy and paste that over, by the way. And so when I put in email and temporary password, let's see if I got it right. Yes, I did. Look at that, Todd. Hallelujah.
Nice.
And so now so here's the process again. So you click on the link that Todd put right there in the chat panel. Tell him the link again, Todd.
It's cellphoneservice.me.
And when you went there, you filled out that simple little form. After you filled in that form, it took you to the page with the video. Then you received an email from Todd asking you to confirm the lane. You went through, you did that. You did the survey with which phone you might choose down the road. Then you went to your email address and you confirmed into the lane. You put your email address and your password, and now you're in. Now you literally have the ability to begin putting people in your lane.
Better yet, show them what's in the Share Now button there at the top.
Thank you. Absolutely. So if I come back up here, you notice these. This is basically your back office. We call it the lane, and this is your back office for pre-launch. So if I come right here to Share Now.
Boom.
Boom. You are the revolution. Welcome to the Share Now section of the lane at your fingertips. You have everything needed to share the Solivay message with your friends and family. You can learn more about Solivay, how to build your personal network, and ongoing updates and upcoming events. So Todd, you've got someone from your webinar here today. They filled out the form, you sent them the lane invite, they confirmed their lane invite, they've gone into the lane. What's the first thing you want them to do?
Once they've gone into the lane, I personally want to make sure that they've got the message down pat. So they go in here and they make sure that they
learn about Solivay.
They've seen the vision message right there. They should have seen that already.
Yeah. We've given them the opportunity to see that. Remember, over here, as soon as you brilliantly did that. As soon as they fill out the form, it loads this the vision video for them. So they've already seen this message right here. So if they click on it again, so I'll click on the English version because I don't speak Spanish, which is going to be a real challenge for me starting tomorrow. You see that this is the URL right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they could copy that. They could come over here, and I could click Compose, and I could send an email to Todd.
You can send an email to anybody and send that out.
And I can paste that right in there. Okay. But something that I want you to do first is I want you to warm them up. So there's a 3-step process that I like to show people. This business is so very simple, and it really is about just sharing a simple message about cell phone service that is less expensive than they're already paying, and it gives them the opportunity to actually come in and make money. And I like to teach a simple way of doing things. It resonates with me if you keep things simple. And the simple system here is just a 1, 2, 3 system. It really is as simple as step 1, warming someone up. Todd, you are the best, I believe, at warming someone up. And we were talking about this beforehand because I was picking your brain because you're just having such phenomenal success. I said, what is it you're saying to people? How do you warm someone up?
You know, it's funny you should ask because I'm keeping it simpler than simple. I'm just bringing it up in conversation with people I'm having online. So, for instance, when I speak to other marketers that I know, I just pose them the question, oh, by the way, have you heard about it? And when they say no...
Let's role play it right here. Let's keep it really simple. Have you heard of You say, have you heard of Solvay, right?
Have you heard of Solvay? And you'll be the other person, Jerry.
Yeah.
So
I
have you heard of Solvay?
I Solo what? I don't know what you're talking about, Todd.
Oh, basically it's this company that's about to explode, and I don't know if you're interested in direct sales at all, if you've ever looked into it at all, but a lot of the really big marketers have gotten on board, and it's being funded by the really large companies in the United States. I mean, the biggest companies in the U.S. And it seems that they're about to make a play to completely change the way advertising is done. I mean, they seem to want to completely cut out the idea of going to television ads and that sort of thing and use the social networking that we're part of, basically. And I don't know if you heard about it or not, but since it's about to explode, if you are, this would be a good time, for some more information. And I could tell you exactly, where to get that information. It's called The Lane, and all you really have to do is just let me send an invitation, and you can go right in and check it out for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, and just when you keep it simple, you're going to be better off. So the first thing you do is you warm them up, and the second thing you do is you get them to the message, and then the third thing you do is you follow up and you put them in your lane. So when I say warm them up, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and Todd just shared with you how he does it. The single greatest way to warm someone up and invite them to the Solvay is to call them on the phone and say hello. Now you're gonna have the opportunity to warm people up every day as you're out and about, and you just run into people that you know or people you don't know. Man, I love this phone. It's $49 a month. I can't believe, there's a lot of different ways to warm them up. But what I want you to do is I want you, more than anything, get them to the message. And look at Todd as an example. Todd did not be the message. Todd brought you to a webinar, asked me to come as a guest presenter, and I was the message today. So for you today, the 40-minute vision video is the message. And I just created a bit.ly link. I'm a big fan of bit.ly links. It just keeps my world simple oftentimes and a little bit organized. And so if you want to use that bit.ly link, you can. It just takes someone directly to the vision video that we've been talking about and showing you. Let me pull it back up. It's this one. Okay, so that is the bit.ly link. Just takes someone to that video. But
it's a good video.
The key thing to remember,
it's
well done.
He's just a little bit unlike me in that he is very polished. I mean, I am when I'm on television, but he is like very polished in this sort of scenario and whatnot. But I've got to tell you, they really do tell you the vision of what's going on and why they think so many people will be able to spread the word. And it really is important to watch it if you haven't.
It helps solidify your decision with Todd right here to get started, but it's really going to help you bring people into the lane. So the first thing to keep in mind about the message: never be the message. And oftentimes, the closer you are to someone, the harder that is. You want to be that message. Okay, don't be the message. Just get them to the message. If you'll get people to the message, then it's all about your enthusiasm and your excitement for something that's cutting edge. It's brand new. I can't wait for you to see it. Well, what's it about? Well, that's what the video is about. And the founder and CEO of the company explains it a lot better than I can. I've only got a couple of minutes. I wanted to call you, or I've only got a couple of minutes. I'm walking into this business meeting or whatever. Get them to the message. And it's about your enthusiasm, your excitement, and your energy. And then remember, we have it available in Spanish as well, and that link is I did a bit.ly for that one as well. Remember, both of them are in your Share Now button, and that's the thing that Todd pointed out a second ago. In your lane under Share Now, you have the English and you have the Spanish version, but here is the bit.ly for the Spanish version there as well. Okay, so that's the message. Or el mensaje. I don't know how to say it in Spanish, so there you go. Step 3 is follow up in the lane, and it's a very simple process. You follow up. You've probably heard an old saying: don't forget to follow up. It doesn't matter how many people you get to the lane, if you're not following up. Let's face it, people are busy. They may not make it to the message, so follow up. And a quick text message is an easy way to do it. And just remember their priorities in life. They're busy, and just don't be surprised if they maybe didn't get there, didn't see it yet. And that's fine. Patiently but enthusiastically encourage them to watch it. And remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. So, Todd, I just wanted to give just that quick training because I just see from the response that we're getting on the chat panel here, you got a lot of people that are excited to join you in Solivay, and a lot of people that are excited to start successfully adding people into the lane.
I want to just tell you one thing that's funny. You glossed over. You didn't even realize. When you go to that Share Now section, can you? I don't know if you could call that back up again. What's in the Share Now?
I sure can. 1 second.
You asked me where do I go when I first enter the Share Now section. And I want you to scroll down, and I'm going to show you where I go first. Because there's something for you all that are right here tonight to go to. If you scroll down, you see where it says Solivay Compensation Webinar. See that right there? That is an excellent description of how deep the payment plan goes. It's unlimited in terms of your network, and that is all inside that webinar. And that's where I go first to train myself on and excite myself on just how you're helping people, look, but you're also going to be getting a lot of money from this if you structure this correctly, if you put strong players in when you first invite people.
And I'll even say when you put people in place, because it will happen. You need to understand, as you're on this webinar with Todd and I right now, Solivay is going to be a major brand name in this world. This is happening. This is happening with or without you. And right now it's happening without you because we have 27,000 people that have joined in right about a month's time. So it's happening right now without you. Get in, get started, click on that link right there in the chat panel so that it's happening with you. And, Todd, we love this. We love this business because everybody we know can make use of it, and everyone we know is already paying more.
Right.
I see a lot of comments in the chat panel about, well, is this multi-level marketing? Is this network marketing? Well, it's certainly not multi-level marketing in the sense of the word where, you define multi-level marketing to me. Here's what it is. And don't take this wrong, because I have ultimate respect for anyone that's successfully made money in multi-level marketing, because I couldn't. I dabbled with it. I got some great products, but I couldn't make it work. And I'll tell you why I couldn't make it work. Because in the back of my mind, I couldn't justify talking people into spending 10 times as much as they're supposed to for a product so that people could make money. I have a dear friend who started what has become $1 billion network marketing company. And his kids and my kids used to play on the soccer fields together, and we'd stand on the sidelines and chit-chat and talk. Not about business, just about, life. Well, I was always fascinated by this guy because he started a company, and he convinced people to spend $8 for a bar of soap. Todd, do you understand how good that soap would have to be if it's $8 for a bar of soap?
Sure do. The better the product, when it is the product that is, of course, the main thing that people are coming in for, then you know that you're dealing with something that's really great. Yeah. And the product is worth it.
That's the key. So we're not telling some magic story about a magic berry grown on a magic tree in a magic jungle. And we're not convincing people that they have to spend $50 for a bottle of this or a cream of that or whatever. This is about cell phone service on the fastest 4G network nationwide, covers 96% of the U.S. population. It's going to be beyond the U.S. in the next few months. It's going to be beyond cell phone service in the few months after that. And this very simply is something that you cannot afford to miss out on. And so I'm encouraging you, please go to that link, click on that link, fill out that form, let Todd send you the email. It'll have Todd Gross's name right in the subject line. You got to click on the cellphoneservice.me link and get in and get started. And Todd, I want to do two things as we're kind of coming down the home stretch here on the webinar. I like to finish my training webinars on Solivay, especially when people are just seeing it for the first time. I like to tell the Luke and Jill story, and then also we will at the end here we will take a Q&A session. Okay,
Oh,
does that
great.
sound good to you?
Yeah, a lot of people have questions, I could see.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I always keep in mind with every webinar, every Solivay webinar I do, I always like to include the mission statement, but I also like to always tell the Luke and Jill story, because at the end of the day, one of the reasons this is going to be so phenomenally huge from a business perspective, from an opportunity perspective, is because Luke and Jill can do it. And I have a little saying. I say, if Luke and Jill can do it, you can do it. Now, I know that doesn't mean anything to you because you haven't met Luke and Jill yet. All right. So let me introduce you to Luke and Jill and tell their story. And first, again, just a quick anchor back to the mission. The mission statement is to make commerce less expensive and even profitable. And the reason that happens is because of who our target market, who our target customers are. I need you to understand that the single greatest area for growth and profit in the mobile industry is converting the non-smartphone users into smartphone users. Now, smartphone users like Todd and I, we love it, and we're going to use it, and it's for everybody. But half of the cell phone users in the United States are not yet using smartphones, and there are a couple of reasons why. One is the expense. They cannot, or they either can't afford it or they can't justify the expense. And when you talk about can't justify the expense, I want you to meet Luke and Jill. And they're two cute boys, Cole and Cade. Now, Luke is a firefighter, and I don't know what you know about firefighters, but firefighters don't happen to make a lot of money. Luke and Jill are very budget conscious. They have two young kids, and they're very budget conscious. They're already saving for the boys' college educations, those things that young parents do, right? And they're getting in, and they're saving for retirement, and they're just budget conscious. And right now, they cannot justify a mobile phone subscription. It just doesn't make sense to them. It's not that they can't afford it; they can't justify it being in a budget conscious situation. So right now, today, they are with Verizon. And Verizon is charging Luke and Jill today $115 a month for their cell phone service. They do not have data currently. Okay, so that's important for you to keep in mind, because when we talk about Luke and Jill onboarding with Solivay, part of that discussion is obviously, well, so how much are they going to have to pay on a monthly basis? So as we consider that, I want you to consider what Solivay is to Luke and Jill. Solivay is a social commerce network that provides a unique income-generating opportunity for members through its nationwide 4G mobile service. Most important of all, it's $49 a month, unlimited voice, text, and data. A $49 membership fee. It's actually referred to as a membership fee. Thanks to the beauty of technology, I can make that adjustment. And it's no contract. And for some people, it's helpful to know that there's no credit check. Okay. So what we look at with Solivay is how we as members will be paid. Solivay has one basic building block, and Todd, you very brilliantly pointed them to the compensation webinar, that video, and I want everyone to watch that after this webinar today, after you watch the Vision webinar, in order. This webinar, the Vision webinar, or the Vision video with our CEO Ryan Wersch, then the
I don't mean to
compensation.
interrupt you, but one interesting point that you just made inadvertently is if you want to see the compensation webinar, you of course must join the lane, and that's exactly what you're also going to tell your prospects. So they get to the idea of the vision, but when they are thirsting for more, say, well, you have to join the lane, and that's what it's there for. It's to invite people and to find out more.
In the under the share now category. Okay,
correct.
Absolutely, yes. So our basic building block is called a trio, and a trio is very simply 3 customers. So the way Solivate works is each phone is its own business center or profit center. So let's use the case of Luke and Jill, for example. Luke gets his Solivate phone and service, and Jill, of course, needs one as well. They both carry a phone, and so Jill actually is Luke's first customer. And unless you want to go in the reverse order, it doesn't matter one way or the other. Jill signs up, and Luke's her first customer. It doesn't matter, okay? So here's Luke, and he has his phone, and that phone is going to be a business center. But remember, the power in this is Luke and Jill have no interest in starting a business. They just want to save money on their cell phone bill. And if they could get smartphones for cheaper than they're currently paying for their mobile service without smartphones, they're definitely going to do it. Okay, so Jill is Luke's first customer, and then Jill is going to sign up and pay her $49 a month. So they pay together, combined, for their cell phone service, $49 and $49. My math skills tell me that's $98 a month. Now, a question always comes up, well, does that include tax? Well, what is it that we buy that includes tax? Nothing includes tax. Tax is added on, and that varies by where you live, by your state. You know, Todd, you live in the Northeast, famous for high taxes, among other things. And so, you know, your tax rate is generally speaking higher in the Northeast than it is for us out here in the West. So I just bring that up because I see a couple of people asking about it in the chat panel. So Luke and Jill pay $98 for 2 phones, smartphones, unlimited talk, text, and data. So guess what happens over the course of that first month? Luke actually is kind of bragging about his new phone, and he found a couple of cool apps that he plays with, and he tells 2 of his firefighter buddies. Yeah, I don't know what you know about firefighters, but they're a close-knit bunch, and they spend a lot of time together. And when they're hanging out in the firehouse, not chasing down fires and running in as people are running out, you know, they're hanging out and socializing, watching TV, and playing on their smartphones or whatever. So over the course of the entire month, and I'm going to use a very conservative example here, Luke tells 2 of his firefighter buddies about it, and they want to get signed up, and he clicks right on his phone, and they enroll actually right on his phone. So when that happens, Luke completes what's called a trio. Okay? So in month 2, how much do Luke and Jill pay for their cell phone service? Well, they still pay $98. But now because Luke signed up a trio, 3 customers, one of which is Jill, the accountants online are going to love this, Todd. I know that parentheses mean negative in accounting terms, right? So 98's the negative, right? They paid out. Luke gets a $50 fab. Remember I talked about fab earlier, and we used that example with the $150 fab, and we talked about Kim I spoke to yesterday, got her $150 fab check. Okay? So Luke makes a $50 fab because he completed his first trio. Now, all the details are on that compensation webinar that Todd talked about. You'll find out that you get $100 for your second trio, you get $200 for your third trio, and your fab tops out at $650, and you do that within your first 60 days. Okay, you'll learn all about that in the Vision webinar, or in the compensation webinar. But Luke's excited because he just made $50 for completing his first trio. And you make what's called a trio pay of $20 per month residual for every single trio in your own personal network. Now, that means every trio that you sign up, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, every trio that they sign up as well. Okay. but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's stick with Luke's trio that he just completed. So he made $20 for his trio here that includes Jill and 2 of his firefighter buddies. Okay? So they paid out $98. They brought in $70. If someone says that second month, well, how much was your cell phone bill this month? What's the answer? Their cell phone bill was $28, right? 98 minus 70 is $28. They have 2 phones, 2 smartphones, unlimited talk, text, and data for $28 a month. Do you see the power in this? This is so huge. This is huge. Guess who gets excited? Her name is Jill. Jill gets so excited because she says, hey, wait a minute. Our cell phones are almost free. What if I told a few people? So she's actually, it's a nice time of the year, and it's a fun activity during the day to get the kids out of the house and get them to get some energy out. She takes them to the park. And as she's sitting at the park on the park bench watching the kids play on the swing set and at the park, she's talking to another one of the moms sitting there watching her kids. And Jill is just gushing about her smartphone. She has never had a smartphone before. She loves it, and she's downloaded this new app. And she says to this lady who she's never met before, by the way. And again, I'm using a conservative example because you and I both know what they both would do. They'd start telling everybody they know. But let's be conservative here. She tells someone she doesn't even know. She says, my favorite part of this phone is this phone only cost me $14 this month. My husband has one, and his cost $14. We got both of our phones for $28 a month. Now, do you see where I'm coming from with that example? That's based on Luke telling 2 people and signing up 2 customers. That lady says, what? Say what? Are you kidding me? Jill says, well, last month it was $49 each, so it was $98. But then this month it dropped to $28 because my husband told 2 of his firefighter buddies, and they signed up as customers. What's this lady say at this point? What should she say? She says, how do I sign up? I want to pay $49 a month for my cell service and see it go down. So Jill does that 3 times in a month. And I don't care who those people are. I don't care if they're strangers on a park bench. I don't care if they're co-workers at her part-time job that she drives 45 minutes each way twice a week to go to. I don't care who they are. Jill completes a trio. When Jill completes a trio, we already know what happens. She gets a $50 fab plus a $20 trio pay. But Luke, when he gets home from the firehouse that next morning at 8:30 in the morning, Jill tells him how excited she is because she just completed a trio, so she gets $50 plus the $20 residual, monthly residual. He slaps her on the rear end and says, good game. It's a little inside joke there. Good game, because not only did she make $70, but Luke also made $20 for her trio. So Luke now, in month 3, we'll call it, he makes $20 for the trio that Jill is in, and he makes $20 for the trio that Jill's 3 customers are in. So how much did they pay out in month 3? They paid out $98. How much did Luke make in trio pay? Well, he made $20 for this trio, and he made $20 for this trio. So Luke made $40 in trio pay. How much did Jill make? Just like Luke in month 2, she made $20 trio pay. How much did she make in her FAB, her fast action bonus? Just like Luke in month 2, she made $50. So if you add all that up, hang on, we got to keep the accountants happy. 98 is a negative. That's how much they paid for their 2 cell phones. They brought in 40 plus 20 is 60 plus 50. They brought in 110. How much did their cell phone bill cost them that month? It actually didn't cost them any money. They made $12. That's a Starbucks for Jill and a beer for Luke. And they are loving life because their cell phone just paid them. Now, Todd, when people on this webinar get what I just shared right there, they obviously will be fast to sign up, get in, get started, and become a part of the Todd Gross Soul of 8 group, because let's face it, this brand is going to be huge. This business is going to be huge. And the bottom line right now is you have got to get in and get started, because when we have the opportunity to get involved on a cutting edge, value-based business that helps people save money and make money, that has the kind of backing that a company like Solvay has, that has the kind of corporate leadership that a company like Solvay has, Todd, what have we got to do? We got to jump in with both feet, and we got to get started.
Exactly. Just like you and I did.
Exactly. So it starts by clicking on the link, cellphoneservice.me, right in the chat panel. The next step, that's step one. Step two is you go to your email inbox. After having completed that form, when you go to cellphoneservice.me, you go to your email inbox, and Todd, you said within the next 24 hours, most likely a lot less than that, they'll be getting
Correct.
an email, and the subject line is Todd Gross would like to invite you to Solvay, and that's what the email looks like.
I do want to point out that people can write to me directly to my email. I don't mind. My main email. If you are not hearing from me for any reason, I'm going to put my email address in the chat box as well. It's just toddwx, X is an X-ray, so toddwx@gmail.com, and that's another way to reach me, and we can take it from there.
Very good, Todd. Well, let's do this. I see we've got a lot of questions that have been answered on the chat panel, but let's go ahead and field any and all questions right here for the next little bit. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. How's that sound, Todd?
Sounds great. Let's get started.